Hi, my name is Calvin Schwantner, and welcome to our LinkedIn live stream. We have a special guest, Brian Dietmeyer. He's the CEO of CloseStrong.ai. Welcome, Brian.
Gerhard, nice to see you, sir.
You are going to be a keynote speaker at the Sales Transformation Summit this week on Thursday morning.
I
And
am.
I'd like to hear from you. What are the problems that you are seeing in the sales landscape today that has been a pesky problem for years?
Yeah, I think I mean there's many, but I'm going to zero in a little bit to sort of some lagging indicators and maybe some of the ways we've been enabling reps. If you look at win rates of forecasted deals that are forecasted to close at the 97% level, those win rates have been stuck around 46, 47% since 2004. So from 2004 to 2024, we went from 46% a win rate of forecast to 47%. So something's got to change. We've spent a lot of money and thrown a lot of technology. And one of the things that we've recognized that there's a massive transformation happening in the way we enable salespeople, especially in the sales training part of it. Most people have been in the room when the new sales methodology, contender selling, is announced at SKO, and then it's rolled out over the next year in groups of 20, virtually or in person, and then everybody wonders, okay, what happened? Is anyone using it? Are managers coaching it? Did that investment pay off? And that problem is persistent. It's out there, and virtually everyone I talked to said, yeah, I've been part of that, but what's the alternative?
So the needle hasn't moved. What does move the dial? What's your secret sauce?
Not only my secret sauce, but secret sauce in general is coaching. We know that when frontline managers exceed coaching expectations, they hit their team stretch goals 95% of the time. We know when they don't do that, they're hitting their goals about 47% of the time, their stretch goals. But the problem is managers don't have time to coach. So we know what moves the dial is, let's look at the opportunities in the pipeline. Let's do one-to-one coaching against them. But it's managers don't have time. Many of them haven't been prepped. They don't have the skills to do it. So yeah, it's like for me, the question or the transformation that we're undergoing now, thankfully, because of technology, is the ability to coach deals at scale, leveraging technology. Most companies coach about 5% of deals in their pipeline. And the question is, you don't want to coach them all, but what's ideal? If you could get to 70 or 80% of deals in your pipeline for 2024, coaching them one-on-one, what impact would that have on win rate and deal quality? And we know that impact's massive.
Well, you and I have spoken about that challenge before, and there are 10,000 pieces of sales technology out there, and a fair number of them say that they make the lives of sales managers easier. So, what is different with your technology, and how does that help the sales manager to help salespeople have a higher win rate?
Yeah. So, but part of it is the technology, which I won't go too deep on, but we're leveraging what Gartner actually sort of just announced this a new version of technology, which isn't AI, it's related, it's IA, it's intelligent applications. And Gartner's argument is, AI is built to solve very, very, very broad problems in a very, very broad way. But intelligent applications are a combination of software peppered with AI, right? And it goes, intelligent applications go after very, very prevalent problems, which is close rate and the inability to get those deals having one-on-one support. And so in a very process oriented and specific way. So that's what we've done, is we've basically built the human capability of coaching a deal in coach who understands your value, your competitor's value, the current priorities of your CRO, what an ideal customer looks like, what an ideal product configuration looks like. And we couldn't do that in the past. So kind of my opening argument was, we used to throw sales training at this problem is kind of just in case quasi custom sales training events that don't get pulled through. Now we have the ability to kind of spend those same dollars on 24/7, 365 coaching as many times as reps need it, and provide the frontline sales managers with the equivalent of a pre-coach deal. And we were speaking to a VP of sales at a tech company the other day. He said, if I could get deals coached in context, pre-coached, and landing on my desk, I could 3 to 5x the number of deals I can personally coach. So your original question about how do we help frontline managers, it's let's get the percent of deals in your pipeline pre-coached, and then let's drop those pre-coached deals into your lap. And for the most important ones, you can then double click on those much more quickly because a lot of the basics have been handled.
Brian, help me understand the pre-coaching process. How is that different?
Yeah, it's similar. What we've done in my past company, we coached billions of dollars of deals in the human environment, right? We had coaches meeting with reps one-on-one or teams of people that were in deal pursuit. And basically we have mirrored that human coaching process. When we first met with the CTO and the engineers, we basically showed them how we would human coach and built the technology to be able to do that. And we haven't seen anything in the marketplace today. There's a lot of things called coaching that will aggregate activities and look at your pipeline and pull all the Salesforce data and say, okay, you need to go after these accounts and do these activities, which is different than that's the what. It's different than the how. To say, okay, I see you're selling this solution against this competitor in this vertical. Let's make sure it's qualified. Here's what an ideal customer looks like in that. Let's do some competitor analysis, right? Let's generate discovery that's drilled down to these buyers and again, what you're selling and who you're competing against. So it's being able to contextually have coaching that's really driven toward your kind of go-to-market strategy. It's really executing your go-to-market strategy. How do you want reps out there doing that work? We can coach against that.
So you guide sellers then to execute the strategy that's fixed in the pre-coaching, one deal at a time. So
Yes.
You really have flipped the script of the entire industry.
I mean that's our goal, and selling is spending money on sales methodology is great. Almost every customer we're talking to has some challenger or a medic or somebody in place, and so our argument is that's good. You need that base methodology, but what we need now is pull through of that methodology, and then we need coaching to then get the deal to close. And that's really our argument for the next spend, and the thing that we know will impact win rate and deal quality is pulling through. You spent $300,000-$400,000 on methodology. Let's pull that through one deal at a time, and let's add in a close plan and get this deal brought home.
And you have another ingredient in your secret sauce, which is on-demand revenue enablement. Describe what that is.
Well, it's basically everything we've been talking about. I appreciate you bringing that up. It's the difference between this sort of just in case methodology training events and on-demand revenue enablement, which is saying, again, 24/7, 365. One of my partners said once, basically your priorities are coming out of the coach's mouth. So what does an ideal customer look like? How do you want us competing against this specific alternative? What are the current priorities in terms of your deal desk priorities? What do you want more of and less of in the commercial terms? How do you want your solutions configured? All of that on-demand revenue enablement is really taking all those aspects of your go-to-market strategy, of your sales strategy, and coaching against them. And by the way, those are going to change, right? Most of us know that annual planning is gone. In most cases, quarterly planning or more often planning is happening. So as those priorities shift, how are we coaching against that and getting that to the deal level tomorrow for a shift we have about a competitive advantage or some change in the marketplace?
Are you saying that all traditional sales training where they sit in a classroom for a week is gone forever?
No, it's not. There is a place for it, again, for sure. And by the way, there are some sales training companies that do a really nice job of pulling through the events after they do the training. And in fact, if you just want to buy events from them, they won't do it. And I think those are good. But for most sales training, it's good to have that base methodology, but we've got to pull that through. That's got to be coached. The other thing we found out in interviewing over 60 sales leaders and revenue leaders is that most companies don't have a plan to get those deals closed. A lot of the methodology will get us to the 50-yard line approximately. But when it comes to getting deals closed, we found what we can only describe as the Wild West, right? Everybody, in that last stage, pulling it through is kind of doing it their own way, and it's very inconsistent. So train on that base methodology for sure, but then it's got to be pulled through, and then we've got to add a close plan. And the best way to do that is one-on-one support, not more 20 people, sitting in a virtual or in-person workshop.
So as I'm listening to this, I'm wondering what percentage of sales methodology and training do you think is really aligned with what buyers need and expect and want?
It's there was a shift. If you look at sales training, it used to be all personality based, right? Go in and compliment the person's family. You see the photo or you can tell they're a golfer. And then it morphed into sales process, which was very, very helpful. Sales process to develop value. Like all that has helped somewhat. But a lot of it is still zero-based discovery. Hey, Gerhard, what's on your plate for this year? What's keeping you awake at night? It's not that prescriptive, right? And so in the new world, in fact, Jim Dickey of Chief Sales Officer Insights, now Sales Mastery, posted a while back that reps are the 9th out of 10 places that buyers go for insight. They also said, I will talk to that rep, and I'll talk to that rep earlier if they have things to bring to me. So there's very few sales methodologies that are designed to be very prescriptive with the customer. And for example, the classic question is, hey, what's your decision process? And with a really well-informed coach, we can help the rep model what the ideal decision process looks like for this customer and be able to bring that to the customer and say, here's who should be involved when you're choosing our solution. Here's who should be involved in your organization. Here's the criteria you should be using. That's the big shift from understanding and zero basing, which adds no value to the buyer. I'm telling you what I already know as a buyer. So yeah, I'll spew my goals out for you, but bring me insight that helps me make a better decision, or tell me what product configurations fit best based on the business metrics that I'm trying to move.
So you have helped a lot of sales organizations improve the number of deals that they forecasted. What are some of the results? What does success look like after a company has worked with CloseStrong?
Yeah, I mean, we know, especially I'd mentioned that, part of coaching is pulling through whatever your base methodology is, but another part of coaching is having a very consistent close plan, a very process-oriented, prescriptive close plan. And what we know is that organizations who get better at that last stage, pulling things through to close, have almost a 2x win rate compared to organizations who are still in that kind of wild west of closing. And they have almost 10x deal optimization or deal quality. It's not always about price, but it might be about the quality of the deal or the level of solution that you put into the customer's organization. So the data is there. It's the one-to-one coaching in context will drive win rate. It will drive deal optimization. It will drive goal attainment, but it's been difficult to scale. In the human environment, it's very hard to scale.
Well, I'm so excited that you are going to deliver that keynote on Thursday, March 21st. So I invite everybody to scan that QR code now, which gives you free access to two days worth of amazing information that you can use to meet your goals. Brian, thank you so much. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, what we're going to share is we've done over 20 years, we've done billions of dollars of coaching in the human environment. And I'm going to share that process. So even, if our technology isn't right for you, I will share what we've learned about the best practice process steps for getting deals closed. And more importantly, the data and the insight reps need to get deals closed. So, folks can, try to execute that on their own. So I'm definitely the majority of my presentation is going to be about what have we learned, what works, what data do you need to provide reps. So hopefully add some value to folks who show up.
Thank you, Brian, for helping elevate the profession of selling.
Thank you, Gerhard.